Hi there. In this video, I'm going to take a look at SMTP or email triggers in Omnilert. Creating triggers is a really great way to have an outside email cause one of your scenarios to launch. To create a trigger, we log in as an administrator. So you click Login, and then go to, we don't need that, we can go to our Scenario Manager and Triggers, and then click Add Trigger. Now, this case is going to be an email trigger. We have several different types of triggers, such as texts and pages. But an SMTP trigger is an email trigger. So I will call this email trigger 1. I've done this before, so I've got a name in there. And call this trigger via email. So I give it a nice description. Then I click Add Trigger. You can see it's been saved. Now, my saved trigger is now an inactive trigger because it's not quite ready to go. We have to configure. So when I come over to my inactive list, you'll see I have an email trigger. I click on it, and I get to its details. And we get some interesting stuff. This is the email address that will cause the trigger to launch. We have our name and our description. And down here we get our security settings. Security settings are used to filter incoming emails because any email that comes to that address with no filter would cause our scenario to launch. So I might want to filter emails so that only information that comes from my network monitor causes my scenario to launch. In this scenario, I'm doing network monitoring. You could do weather monitoring or whatever you like. So I could filter for virus scanning if I care. I say yes. I want to check if there's a virus. Spam detection, I don't care about spam control on this one. Say SPF, which verifies the sender information. Yeah, I'll do an SPF check. I'll actually make that gray. We have three different statuses here. Off means don't do this filter. Gray means accepted as long as it's not an outright fail. If it's an unknown or a neutral result, we'll allow it. And pass means only let it through if it fully passes with flying colors. I'm going to go with gray. I'll skip DKIM verification. I'm not looking for a digital signature here. But I can put in an allowed source, and that checks the sending email address to make sure it is my network monitor. Now, my network monitor in this fictional example is called monitor at mycompany.com. Now, you'll put in the name of whatever service has a sending address, whatever email address you expect to be sending Omnilert an email. In this case, it's my network monitor. I update my trigger, and now my trigger exists, but it's still inactive. So I'll scroll up here and close this view, and now I have my inactive trigger. I check the box next to its name, and let's activate it. The system's going to say, are you sure you want to make this active? Because as soon as it's active, the world can send it an email, and it will do something. So now my trigger is active, so it's out here. I have an email trigger along with my other triggers that I've created. And one last thing I want to do, I could have done this in the last screen, but here, I want to associate my trigger with a scenario. Now, I have several scenarios, that I've created. And in this case, I want to associate my email trigger with my network outage. So if my network monitor detects that my server is down and sends an email to Omnilert, it will cause my network outage scenario to fire off, letting all of my server admins know that there's something going on. So I can save my association. And the last thing I need to do is copy this big long address. And we have a nice clipboard copy button right here. So I just copy that. I've copied it to my clipboard. And now I would run over to my network monitor and paste that address into my network monitoring system. You can follow this same process to launch any kind of procedure you might have. Scenario you might have. You can launch a weather scenario, a network outage scenario like this example. Maybe you have door alarms that can set off an alarm scenario. So the potential for automation is amazing. You can do all kinds of things with this. So if you have any questions about how to do this, how to set up your scenarios, how to set up your triggers for your scenarios, let us know. We're at support@omnilert.com, or you can check out our forums right at support.omnilert.com. Either way, we have a lot of information for you, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.